I feel like I did everything right. 19 years led up to the day that I was going to like sell my life's work and partner with guys that I really trust and really respected. And that's what it was all about, because I always want to be in a room full of smart people. People are smarter than me. People are more successful than me. People that I can learn from. And I've always surrounded myself with those people. And that's the room that I was in. And that's why I decided to partner with them, because they were just great people and they had an amazing vision that really resonated with me. And so it was amazing. I mean, it wasn't all rainbows and unicorns, of course. You know, they were a startup and there were some things that they had to like figure out. And, you know, I was in a position to help them figure those things out because I'm a dentist and I knew exactly what we needed as teams, as leaders and teams. So fast forward 3 years and holy cow, they grew to 79 practices. It seemed like overnight, it went so fast. And I had a part in probably 50 or 55 of those deals, you know, helping bring dentists through that process. And by the way, I'm not a yes man. So I wasn't just like saying what they needed to hear to say yes. I was like, hey man, here's the good. Here's the stuff I don't like so much. But what I will say is they have operated in integrity every step of the way. What they said that they would do for me, they've done for me. When I have pushed back, they've said, okay, we got you. It's all good. And so, you know, when it comes time to transition, if this feels right for you, if the deal is right and it feels good for you, I would love to have you join us. But if it's not, it's okay. You know, you can still call me and we can, you know, talk about whatever you want to talk about. So it was pretty amazing that in 3 years after signing on the dotted line, they're recapping. So a recap is basically where they are selling to a bigger company. You know, they were a boutique PE firm that just grows from scratch up to a certain level. And when you get that certain level, yeah, like 400 or 500 bigger entities that want to buy that. And so it became this big thing and they sold to, you know, $2 billion private equity firm. And I thought, oh my God, like that's amazing. They have like unlimited resources. They're too big to fail. Like this is going to be really great. And I get to roll all this money that I just got, these millions of dollars, back into it and get more money in 3 to 5 years when they do it again. And I'd heard stories about guys who like went through 4 of these recap experiences with Heartland Dental specifically, ended up like $70 million, $100 million. Now, I didn't anticipate that. I didn't even need that. I had a number in mind, and this second recap would get me to that number. And of course, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to stop working. I'm the kind of guy who's going to be like, oh man, like I am truly and fully financially secure. Now I can just do what I want to do, what I'm passionate about. Like take all of those things I wanted to do at 50, like the timing is going to be perfect. And it was. Everything was going so well. Oh my God, within 6 months, it went from 79 practices to I think 120. Like, it's like, holy crap. What I didn't realize and what I didn't understand at the time was they had to borrow a lot of money to do that. They actually grew too rapidly. And then this new company, they just had a different philosophy, a different mindset from the PE firm that I ended up partnering with, who are still my friends. I have so much respect for them. They're amazing humans. But, you know, when it came time for that recap, we had 48 hours to decide how much of that millions of dollars are going to push back into it. And, you know, my private equity friends, they're like, well, we're going all in. I said, well, you know way more than I do, so let's go. Let's go all in. And man, again, things seemed like they were going so well, but the mismanagement, I think they got out in front ahead of their skis. You know, they got to a point where they had so much debt that when the pandemic hit, oh my God, the shit hit the fan. I mean, everything that I thought was going so well, my equity's worth like $15 million. Like, oh my God. I remember when my kids came home from boarding school at the start of the pandemic, and the 6 of us are sitting around the dinner table, I said something that I think I said it and God laughed because I said, and this was probably March 13th, 2020, you know, the day that the world shut down, the dental world shut down. I told my kids, I said, kids, like, we've worked hard. We've done it right. We took care of our team. We took care of our patients. We took care of other dentists. And like, we're in that like top 0.5% that like saved and like made great decisions, and we're bulletproof. You know, we have no debt. We're in a beautiful home. We're all here together. Whatever happens outside with a pandemic, we're going to be fine here together. And so let's make sure we come out the other end better, stronger, healthier than we've ever been. And so everybody's like, okay. And like the next day, we actually had to put up a sign-up sheet for our home gym, like so that everybody could like get their time in the gym because we were all like, hey, we're going to be amazing when we come out of this. So, oh man, they shut down dentistry for 10 weeks. And that was March 13th, 2020. On May 4th, 2020 is the day that they opened practices back up again. And incidentally, that was literally the 5-year anniversary of my deal with the DSO. And so my 5-year commitment, my 5-year contract, I honored it. I could have walked away at any point, but I'm like, nope, I'm an honorable guy. I'm going to do the whole 5 years. I did it. That was the day. And you know what? In 24 years, I never had a sick day. Not one. In 24 years, I never missed a day, no matter how sick I was, no matter what was going on, until that day. That was the day I said, guys, it's the last day of my clinical career. And it's not like I just sprung it on them. They knew it was coming. But it was the first day that I actually missed in the office, May 4th, 2020. And I thought, man, we're bulletproof. And when the pandemic ends, like, I'm going to be in perfect position to like jump back in and maybe run a company someday, do something really cool, like create all this value for dentists and for patients and for teams. And, oh man, I told you, you tell God your plans and he laughs. Yeah. September 3rd, 2020, there was an investor call where the 10 dentists who had equity in the company, the mothership that had rolled millions of dollars into this next iteration, it was an investor call, like an owner's call. I'm like, oh, cool. They're going to give us all this good news. Like, we grew and all this stuff and your money, you're like, we're going to sell in 6 months or something. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. And so that evening at 5:30, I sat in my office. I got on the call. It was 45 seconds long and it was a recorded message. The recorded message said, oh, hey, we're really sorry, but we mismanaged the company and the pandemic hit and shut down dentistry and the bank took everything and you're screwed. There is no recourse. Your money's gone. Sorry. And hung up, basically. I dropped the phone and I was stunned. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is my whole career. Like, everything I worked for 24 years was wrapped up in this equity. Everything. And I just lost $15 million. Like, wait, what? I came from a middle-class family. Like, I did everything I could to be successful and do it the right way. And they told me in a 45-second recorded call that I was screwed. It was gone, no matter what. I immediately called my private equity friends, left them messages, and about 5 minutes later, they called me back, to their credit, and they said, Jim, like, we're just stunned because they lost even more money than I did. But $15 million when I never even thought, like, that wasn't even a thought that I'd ever have that kind of money. But I told my kids we're bulletproof, and all it took was 6 months for all of it to be gone. So then I had to go out and tell my wife this. And I went out just kind of stunned, and I like stuttered through it. And she's like, oh, Jim, that's ridiculous. I'm like, no, like legit. Like, we just lost everything. And oh my God, talk about something like a moment that changes your life forever. I mean, it was the worst thing that ever happened to me. I mean, I'm going to say I led a fairly charmed life, but we also make our own opportunities. You know, I worked my butt off every stage of the way to be the best that I could be at everything I did. And, you know, I did pretty damn well. And to get hit with this shocker, you know, I'm the kind of guy who normally just like jumps back up and let's go. Like, let's fix this. It'll be fine. You know what? My wife was freaked out. I was despondent. I didn't see a way out. And I fell into the deepest, darkest, longest depression of my life. Like, I mean, like within an hour, I wasn't sure how I was going to get through the next year. Like, legitimately, I was like, there's no hope. Like, I can't like go back and wave a magic wand and like get all that money back that I worked so hard for. And I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. And so, you know, ultimately started making plans and went through the motions, and I did some things, and I helped do some deals, but I was just like sleepwalking through the whole thing. Gained like 50 pounds. I went from being in my 40s, like a top 2% triathlete. You know, I was 7% body fat. I was like really competitive. Like the stuff I did in my teens and 20s, I'm like, I'm back. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And I went from that to 30% body fat. And at 5'8", 204 pounds. and just in such a dark depression. Like, I didn't see a way out. Like, I had no idea what was going to happen. And, the worst part is really just how it impacted my family. I mean, like, I'd never failed at anything. And I felt so guilty and embarrassed and ashamed. And I felt like, my God, the pride that I felt about what I built and what I accomplished, and I did it right and all this kind of stuff, it was just all wiped away. And I thought, man, people are going to laugh, and they're going to say, well, you know what, Mr. Smart Guy, sorry, stuff happens. And I didn't want to tell anybody. I just wanted to crawl into a hole and die. And so you gain all that weight, and you don't want to leave the house, and you hate what you see in the mirror, and you feel like a failure. You feel like you let your family down. It was bad. Well, 484 days ago, thank God, I was actually in Bermuda, believe it or not. A buddy of mine was putting on a conference there. It's actually Len Tao's Supercharge Your Dental Practice Conference. And my friend Matthew said, hey, man, just come on down. Come hang with us for a few days. It'll be really fun and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, yeah, what the hell? I'm going to go to Bermuda. I've never been there before. Hang out with my friends, just have some fun and talk to all the speakers and schmooze and network, whatever. Because I could still go and be gregarious. And I faked it for 4 years. When I'm silently dying inside, I faked it. I tried to be normal Jim, even big fat Jim. I'm still just friendly and talking to everybody and just trying to be me. But that weekend, it was a turning point. Thank God, because I needed something to change it all up. Well, the first keynote speaker was a guy named Dr. Jeff Buske, and he had been through something, not the same, but similar, the things that so many dentists go through, be it substance abuse, and not an addict, but when you start to, what do they say, sedate, with wine or beer or whatever, just at the end of the day, it's oh man, I need a couple glasses of wine, He went through this whole thing where he didn't know what he was going to do. And through a series of events and mentorship, he turned his whole life around. And he said all this on a stage. And it was so powerful. His story was so powerful. And his new passion, he'd done all these things. He was more fit than ever. His marriage was better than ever. His family was stronger than ever. His practice went from 1 million to 4.3 million in a 3-day work week. And I'm just looking at this guy. I'm like, oh my God, once again, I want what you have. I am right now where you were 10 years ago. And guess what? Show me the way, man. And by the way, there's too many dentists out there feeling the same way. I am committed to helping you spread this word, whatever it's going to take. I want to get you in front of everybody I can. I want to introduce you to all my people and just make sure that your story gets heard far and wide. And you know what? A few weeks later, he said, hey, Jim, I've been thinking, I'm just going to take you on as a coaching client. I'm like, oh, man, but I lost all my money. And he's like, no. I'm just let's talk every week. And I'm going to walk you through the whole process. And holy cow, so much in life, when you want to make changes, it's so important to have accountability, to have somebody who's actually following up, somebody who's been there, somebody who has experienced what you're experiencing and come out of it better, healthier, wealthier at the end of that process. And Jeff was that guy for me. Man, I owe him a lot. Because he asked me good questions. I didn't have any picture. I had no idea what the hell I was going to do. I didn't have a clear vision for how I was going to create value. And with just a couple of conversations, I got clarity. I'm like, oh my gosh, well, I love doing this. And I am going to combine that with my love for luxury travel. Luxury Dental Retreats was born. I mean, being in the education space as a student and as an educator, I loved both. But I really loved it when it's a small group. When you have a small group of like-minded professionals in a room together, you can really go deep. You can get real. You can have real conversation. I always used to joke that I got more value from 9 p.m. till 3 a.m. having real conversations with people about all the stuff that you can't really say or you're not going to say in a room full of 100 or 1,000 people. I'm like, man, I would love to recreate those rooms for dentists who really want to learn from myself and my friends, my peers, my network, my alliance, these people who have so much to offer. If I can bring them together in these small groups, oh my God, we could create magic together, transformation. So then I thought, gosh, and again, this is a product of some really good questions that Jeff asked me, but like, man, I also love luxury travel. I've been doing it with my family for the last 25 years. I'm a travel snob, and I'm like, put that out there into the world because I enjoy it. And so I thought, oh my gosh, well, why don't we do all this stuff in really cool locations? I don't want to go to the freaking Marriott and sit in a conference room. Like, I want to go to freaking, Dubai or Mexico or Dominican Republic or, wherever, Costa Rica. And get people outside their comfort zone, get people outside of the everyday distractions and all that thing, and make this a really intimate setting with amazing people where you have full access and can have those real conversations. And man, Luxury Dental Retreats was just the start. It was so amazing. And we've had a couple of retreats where we got true transformation. Every dentist who has come has gotten massive ROI, not just in terms of dollars and cents. They definitely got that, but return on relationships, what they got was me in their corner for the rest of their careers. And then I realized, well, geez, there's way more than just this. I'm going to put together a whole community, which turned into the Foundation Dental Alliance. And you know what? Without those questions, without that clarity, without Jeff helping me get on track in my life, because by the way, he gets into body, being, balance, and business. I mean, that's basically let's get healthy in body, mind, and spirit. You get there, it's going to impact your relationships in an amazing way, and it's going to impact your business in an amazing way. And so I got really granular on all of that. I started getting up at 5 every morning, and I'd have coffee with my wife for 28 minutes, talk about our day. And by 5:30, I'm sitting at my desk reading something for personal growth, which I've never been able to focus on those books. I've got, 100 of those books. I could never get through them all the way because I get distracted. Well, doing it in 30 to 60 minute increments, I'd get in and I'd just keep reading and reading. Then I would meditate, get my spirit aligned. And then I would journal. I'd start getting all my feelings and thoughts out on paper, actually on my computer. And then I would go through some gratitude exercises because it's so important to be grateful for everything we have. Even at the darkest moments, we're still so blessed. And you know what? Realizing that is what turned everything around. For the first time in 4 years, I stopped looking back and I started looking forward with purpose. And every day that I sat down at my desk and got into how am I going to be a better version of Jim in my mind? How am I going to be a better version of Jim in my soul when I meditated? How am I going to be a better version of Jim physically when I went down to the gym? And by the way, I got into that, not as the athlete that I was, because I've always been all or nothing. I'm all out or nothing. And you know what would happen, historically speaking, at any time where I maybe got out of shape or whatever? Within 2 weeks, I'd be injured. Within a month, I'd be burnt out. Within a few weeks, I'd be traveling and get off my routine, and I'm being all or nothing. It just never worked out. And I never really got to where I wanted to be, except when I went all in on triathlon, which, by the way, I was doing triathlons with torn Achilles tendon, torn hamstrings, torn rotator cuffs, herniated discs, but I just power through it all. This time, I decided I'm going to do it right. 1% daily. I don't have to eat the whole elephant, I just one bite at a time, 1% daily in my body, mind, and spirit. And it was like magic. The weight started to melt off me. I mean, I'm now 484 days in. I have not missed a workout 484 days. And I did lose 60 pounds in the process, which is great. But what I really gained was the clarity and the kind of wherewithal and ability and energy and drive to take everything I've done in my 29-year career and put it on a silver platter for dentists who need those solutions, who need that clarity, who need that pathway to, again, just having a fulfilling career where they don't have to DIY it. They don't have to trial and error it. They can follow myself and my alliance and my trusted partners down this path to success and create whatever kind of practice they want to create. And you know what? Maybe without having gone through this darkness for 4 years, without without having a purpose and being so out of shape. I mean, I used to laugh because I would just, again, put on a happy face, and I'd make fun of myself at how fat I had become and how unhealthy I was. And I'd say, yeah, I'm one cheeseburger away from a heart attack, and guess what? It wasn't too far from the truth, I mean, frankly. So now here I am, a healthier version of myself, a more positive version of myself, and a man who is looking to the future with great enthusiasm and hope and excitement for what I've already done for the dentist in my sphere of influence, and just the potential and all the things I'm going to do with everybody who comes in and joins the Alliance and joins the mastermind and goes to Dubai and goes through a transition process with us. I mean, because I've worn all the hats. I've experienced, I think, just about everything you can do in dentistry. And now I've come through to the point where I can give it all to the dentists who want a piece of that. And that makes me happy.